Hello everyone. I'm here to talk to y'all today about the rear seat spacers for the 5th generation 4Runner. And a lot of people, this is the same company Desert does, a lot of people use the front seat jackers. But what I've found is, being about 6'2", 190 pounds, and my mother's hips, that the seat actually, even on its lowest setting, has too much support on my legs, because I'm about torso leg proportionate, so it actually digs into my left thigh because I stretch out here. So I did some more research, and I used the front seat jackers to see if maybe I wasn't getting enough support, but it turns out I was actually getting too much support here. So I took those off, left them on the passenger seat because it doesn't adjust, and my passengers seem a lot happier. Definitely a good move for the passenger seat since it doesn't adjust, even though it does make the seat a little bit higher. So I did some research, and Tacoma guys like to raise the rear because it makes it feel more truck-like, like you're driving a full-size truck. And on the Bronco forums, they said that people around my height benefit from a more flat raised seating position because it feels like a truck and it feels more flat, because it feels very reclined, and I am used to and prefer seating more flat like an officer, like a truck. So Desert doesn't makes these rear seat spacers, and they have a few different increments. You've got a 3/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, and then a 1/4 inch, and then they give you longer bolts to use depending on how many spacers you use, and the instructions are on the website. But I figured I'd try these to raise the rear of the seat probably about 1 inch, so I'll use these two, maybe a little more than 1 inch, but I'll use those to kind of raise it to see if that makes it a little better, just because I'm getting so much it's just rubbing right here, and I can't raise the seat too much here because I have a sunroof. And I don't know why Toyota insists that you have to have a sunroof, but you can't really get a Trail Premium without one, much to my displeasure. So, pretty much same installation process as the front seat jackers, except this time you only have to loosen the front ones, and all you need to use is a 14 millimeter. It's pretty straightforward and simple. And I mean, oh God. And then I'll cut to the video after I've loosened them. Once you loosen these, you don't need to remove them completely. Just make them a little loose so the seat can move up and adjust if need be. And then after you do that, you'll come to the rear back here. Go ahead and slide that all the way forward. You'll come back here and remove these. See, got it off. Then you'll do the same process here where you loosen these, and these ones you'll take all the way off. With the fronts loosened and the rears removed, you should be able to lift the seat up like this. And that is when you'll take your spacers and you adjust it to whatever you desire. In this case, I'll be using the large spacer and the middle spacer. I believe these are the 3/4 inch and the 1/2 inch. And then I will place each of those under the seat, and I will be using the long nut here, and I'll show that in just a second. So what I ended up having to do was completely unbolt the front and the rear seats, because this frame rail in particular, you have to make sure it threads in by hand, and it's bent back just a little bit because the seat flexes. So I removed the front and then kind of wiggled the seat around to make sure both the 1/4 inch and 3/4 inch spacer were able, and then I turned it in by hand as much as I could, and then I tightened it with a socket wrench, making sure that it wasn't cross threading. And I did the same thing over here, And then I'm going to torque them both to 27 foot-pounds. Same thing with the front, because I had to take these completely out in order to get the seat to actually move how I want it to, because it's not perfect back to back. And every 4Runner is probably different, but in my case I had to do that. And now when I sit in this thing, there's a lot less pressure on my thigh, and it feels a lot more like sitting in a truck. Like, it feels like I'm kind of sitting in an office chair, which, you know, I'm gonna drive like this for a little while and determine if I need to add more spacers. But now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down and then adjust and see how it does. Got my torque wrench set to about 27, 28 foot-pounds. Come in here, and it's still spinning real easily, not cross-threaded. Okay, that's nice and tight. Then we come up to the front, pull the seat back again, and we do the same thing up here. I'm going to put the camera down, but yeah, you tighten these to 27 foot-pounds. Now you put your covers back on after making sure it's tight. Okay, same thing on the front, put those covers back on, and then you should be good to go. You can always remove a spacer, add a spacer if needed. I'm going to test this out for the next few days, but thanks for watching.